Today we will consider human eye as an organ which is sensitive to light, which responds to light, and which allows us to enjoy the beauty of this colorful world. If we are talking about human eye, then it is nearly spherical in shape with diameter approximately 2.5 centimeter. If we will talk about different parts of human eye, then we will move from exterior to interior. First, we are going to consider the very first layer, that is known as sclera. What is sclera? The outer white layer of eye which protects eye is known as sclera. This is vertical section of human eye. If you will see the front section, this is eye and this white part. This white part in your eye, this will be known as sclera, and its function is to protect our eye. The second layer that we are going to consider is choroid. What is function of choroid? It consists of black pigment, black colored layer, such that if extra light is going to enter in our eye, then it decreases reflection of light by absorbing that light. Then next part, if we will consider, next is cornea. If this sclera layer we are extending this side, then we can see that cornea and this layer, they are merging together. This front portion of human eye will be known as cornea. This sclera is white, opaque, but this cornea is transparent, and light can enter in human eye by passing through cornea. So cornea is a transparent membrane on the front portion of eyeball through which light enters in eye. And if light is going to enter from air to cornea, then refractive index of air and refractive index of cornea different. So refraction of light takes place when it moves from air to cornea. Maximum refraction of light, that light ray suffers before finally reaching to retina, maximum refraction it is going to suffer at cornea. So till now we have considered sclera, white layer that protects eye, choroid, black in color, and it absorbs the maximum light, extra light that is falling or that is entering in human eye, and it protects or it avoids reflection inside eye. Next part what we have done is, if we are extending sclera, then this front part is known as cornea. This is transparent and light falls on cornea and then it enters into our eye. Next part what we will consider is iris. What is iris? If this choroid part, choroid layer, you will see this is thin hair, and when we are extending this side, then this side it becomes thick, and we are going to consider here two parts. One part will be known as iris and other will be known as ciliary muscle. If you will see what is iris in front view of eye, then this is front view of eye. This green colored part, in some eyes it can be green, it can be blue, it can be brown, because the color of iris will depend on the pigment that is present there. If white light will fall on iris and if green color is reflected by particular pigment, then color of eye will be green. If blue is reflected, color of eye will be blue. So the nature of the pigment that is present in that particular eye will decide the color of eye. So what is iris? It is a pigment, circular structure having a central hole. At the center of it, one hole will be there, and this hole is known as pupil, that I have represented by black color. Front view of eye, this white portion is sclera, this black portion is pupil, the hole in iris, and this green part that is around this pupil will be known as iris. The pigment present in iris will decide the color of eye, and the central hole will be known as pupil. What is function of iris? Function of iris is to control the size of pupil. And what is function of pupil? Function of pupil is to control the amount of light that is entering in our eye. How does it happen? Iris controls the size of pupil, and size of pupil controls the amount of light that is going to enter in our eye. For this, consider this diagram once again. This iris part I have represented by green circle here. In iris, fibers are there. Few fibers are going to be radial along the radius, and few fibers are going to be circular fibers. Now, how these fibers are going to react, that will decide whether the size of pupil will be more or the size of pupil will be less. When these radial fibers are going to contract, then what will happen? The size of this pupil will increase. In this case, this happens mostly when we are going to be in dim light. So that size of pupil will increase and more light can enter into our eye. If we are in bright light, then what will happen? These circular fibers will contract. When these circular fibers will contract, then size of pupil will decrease. And it is going to happen in case of bright light. So the muscles which are present in iris, they will control the size of pupil, and size of pupil in turn will control the amount of light that is going to enter in our eye. So what is function of iris? Function of iris is to control the size of pupil. What is the function of pupil? Function of pupil is to regulate the amount of light that is going to enter in our eyes. Till now I have considered sclera, choroid, pupil. In this case, this part, this black portion, the hole that is present in iris, this is representing iris here. This part that I have shown with green color here. This is vertical section of human eye. This is a front view. And the small opening hole that we are going to have, this is a pupil. This is a cornea. Next part of human eye that we will consider now is crystalline lens. What is crystalline lens? This biconvex lens, converging lens that is present in human eye, which is made up of glassy fiber, is known as crystalline lens. And the function of this lens is, if object is kept here, then inverted and real image of that object is going to form on retina. So it is helpful in providing the necessary refraction of light. This crystalline lens is at its position with the help of these muscles, which are known as ciliary muscles. Both side up and down, this is kept in its position with the help of ciliary muscles. What is function of ciliary muscles here? First function is that it is going to keep the lens at its position. Second function is it is capable of changing the focal length of this lens as needed. If you will consider, let me consider two cases here, how focal length of the lens is going to change. You have done ray diagrams related to convex lens. 6 ray diagrams you have done, and you have seen that when we are changing the position of object, then the screen we have to displace. It means with the change in value of u, value of v is also changing. But here, the distance between lens and screen is fixed. It means I can change the value of object, but I cannot change the value of v. So we have relation of lens 1 upon f is equal to 1 upon v minus 1 upon u. V I have to keep fixed. U I can change. Sometimes object can be at a distance, sometimes object can be closer. So I want v to be constant. U is changing. So to keep v constant, what I need? I want to change f. It means focal length of lens I want to be changed as per requirement. So this is a function of ciliary muscles, that they will change the focal length of the lens. How focal length of the lens will change? We know power is inversely proportional to focal length. Focal length will decrease if power will increase. And which lens is going to be more powerful? Which is thicker? It can bend the path of light rays to more degree or with more ability. So let us consider first this case when you are going to focus on an object that is at a large distance. From distant object, the rays of light which are coming are parallel. When they are passing through this crystalline lens, then they will converge and they will form image at retina. See, by this angle, now this lens is supposed to change the path of rays of light. And when the rays are parallel, then they are going to converge at focus. So this much gap is giving the focal length of this lens. Or in this case, when the object is kept at infinity, focal length will be equal to V. It means image distance will be equal to focal length of the lens. So when the object is kept at a very large distance, this much amount of change in path you need. If object is kept close to eye, then also you want that image should be formed at the same distance. Now what will happen? Your lens should be powerful. It should be thicker. It should be able to bend the path by large angle. See, in this case, this much bending you need. And when the object is closer, this much bending you need. It means in this case, you are in need of more powerful lens. And powerful lens means you want a thicker lens. So sometimes when you are focusing on the object which are near to you, you need thicker lens. And when you are going to see distant objects, you need your lens to be thinner lens. So this change in the thickness of lens is done by ciliary muscles. When the lens is thick, power is increasing, focal length is decreasing. And in this case, ciliary muscles are strained. And when we are going to consider this case, when the lens is thin, power is decreasing and focal length is increasing. So this is the function of ciliary muscles, to keep the lens at its position, also to make the lens thin, hence increasing its focal length, or to make the lens thick and then decreasing its focal length. So as per requirement, ciliary muscles, either they are in relaxed state or they are strained to change the thickness of the lens or to change the focal length of the lens. So this is very important. What is function of ciliary muscle? Function of ciliary muscle is to change the focal length of the lens that is present in human eye. Next part of human eye that we are supposed to consider is retina, this third layer. This retina is a membrane which acts as a screen where image formation is going to take place. This is convex lens. So real and inverted image formation on retina is taking place. And on retina, we are going to have light sensitive cells. These cells are either in the shape of rod or they are in the shape of cone. The cells which are in the shape of rod, they are sensitive to intensity of light, whether light is bright or it is dim. And the cells which are in the shape of cone, they are sensitive for color of light. So when the image formation is taking place on retina, these light sensitive cells will change light energy into electrical energy or electrical signal, and this electrical signal with the help of these optic nerve will go to brain, and brain will interpret this inverted image as erect image. Now what is left in this diagram? In this diagram, sclera I have considered, choroid I have considered, retina also, ciliary muscle function also, iris also, crystalline lens also, pupil also, cornea. What is left is aqueous humor and vitreous humor. When the light is passing from air to human eye through various chambers, finally forming image as retina. Then sufficient refraction is produced by cornea, aqueous humor that is present here, lens, vitreous humor that is present here. What is aqueous humor? Aqueous humor is consisting of water with salt. So it is salty fluid between cornea and eye lens, and its refractive index is almost 1.33. Vitreous humor, it is jelly-like fluid and it fills the space between eye lens and retina. And next what we are going to have, blind spot. This is a spot that is not sensitive to light. The region where the optic nerve enter the eyeball. There are no rods or cones cells. So this is totally insensitive to light. Hence this spot will be known as blind spot. So human eye we have done. What are the various parts of human eye and what is the function of each part? So you do practice of diagram and write the function of each part of human eye.